If we take the innocent suffering without no reason of mine, I believe that state of life produces grace. My dear brothers and sisters, today the Holy Catholic Church celebrates the feast of the innocent martyrs, the little children, the kids who were martyred for the sake of Christ. When King Herod came to know that the wise men cheated him and they went away without informing where Jesus was born. So in order to get rid of Jesus, and he would not know who exactly was Jesus, so he declared that every child below 2 years be killed, and so that the new king would be killed, through which the King Herod showed his insecurity of life. As we reflect on today's feast, we see these were the children, the holy martyrs, innocent martyrs. They were unconscious of what was happening to them. They are not aware why they have to die or why they are being killed. No awareness. Yet, in certain ways, these children, through their death, they become witnesses of Jesus Christ. Even before Jesus could be crucified, these became his witnesses. And so, though unconsciously they were killed, yet through their martyrdom, there was this grace for people, for themselves, for their salvation. So as we reflect on this feast and how do we apply ourselves, my dear brothers and sisters, today we see a lot of children or babies being killed in their wombs or after birth. People don't want and so go for abortions. People don't want children, so they are abandoned. Or as these children, they grow, the very fact that they are rejected itself is sort of martyrdom, because the children go through that pain of having no one, of not being loved, of not being accepted by the family. So these are ways of innocent being suffering, and it is happening. Very often we see children having parents and yet they live like orphans because the parents may not have enough time to give to their children, or children grow without much love and care and attention that they need. As a result, children suffer innocently. So it means what happened during the time of Jesus is still happening in our time, but not exactly direct killing, but through abortion, through rejection, through not being loved, not accepted. These are the ways where children still suffer. We apply again this feast to our life, especially the concept of innocently suffering. These children were innocent. They had no idea of why they were dying. And same way, even in our adult life, we also suffer innocently. Very often, for no fault of mine, I go through pain, I go through torture. It could be for the sake of Christ, it could be for the sake of justice, it could be for the sake of somebody else's cause that you take up and then you suffer. Or sometimes people innocently suffer in their homes. If you have an abusive husband, or you have an abusive wife in the family, or someone in a neighborhood who had been abusing you, torturing you, and so the peace is taken away of your life. So even in our adult life, we do have innocently people suffering for no reason or no fault of their own. If we take the innocent suffering without no reason of mine, I believe that state of life produces grace. The children suffered, they died, and yet their martyrdom produced grace. Same way, when I suffer innocently, my suffering produces grace. And these graces could be utilized for some good purpose, for my own salvation, my forgiveness, or salvation of somebody else. Jesus was himself innocent. He committed no sin. And so for what he was being crucified, therefore his suffering was innocent. When we go through these kind of sufferings, it could be for the sake of Christ, or it could be for the sake of justice, or it could be for the sake of somebody else's reason, or for no reason. If we lovingly accept our suffering, these innocently suffering people will produce grace, and it will benefit for general good. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, as we celebrate this feast, as we remember these little children who were killed, who were martyred, who were massacred, all our sufferings, all the pain that we go through for no reason of mine, let us offer for people around the world, especially the people who bring pain on others, the people who make others to suffer, so that they may be converted and change their life and live life of peace and bring peace into the world. Let this feast remind us that we have to love God with all our heart. As these little children, through their martyrdom, they showed their love to God. So let us love God with our innocent heart. Amen.